Okay, welcome back. Game 3 of round 5 of the JHB Championships. This is the final game of the best of 3 for the first round of the top cut. There were 4 people that made it through to the top cut. Raymond on your left, Jaco on your right, and Victor and Ricky, who's playing on table 2. Jaco won the first game, Raymond won the second, so they have the rest of the hour that they started to finish this game. The timer doesn't stop. They have an hour to play best of 3, so that includes shuffling, talking in between, which they did. But luckily, I think I can't remember if they actually finished this game or not. Let's just see, and you'll see what the result is at the end. Let's not do any spoilers. So, draw 7 cards. They all have basics. Raymond only has 1. And let's see how this game goes. We have Zekrom, Cleffa, Snivy, and a Solosis. They're out on the bench. So Cleffa's wonderful Eek. If Jaco's not happy with his hand, or there we go, he can Eek, shuffle his hand, doesn't need energy for that. Shuffle his hand into his deck and draw 6 cards. It is an attack, however, and Cleffa does fall asleep. But Cleffa's sweet sleeping face ability means that while she is asleep, she cannot receive any damage. Sleep fortunately and unfortunately at the same time needs to be rolled in between turns. Tails, you stay asleep. Heads, you wake up. Jaco's hoping for a tails so that he can stay asleep, and Raymond's hoping for a head so he can wake up and maybe get a DCE on there, a double colorless energy, and do 20 damage. Roll of the dice, and that looks like a head, so he wakes up. That's a 2. Raymond plays a Pokemon Collector. It's a supporter, so he can draw up to 3 basic Pokemon and stick them on his bench. That's how he's going to fill up his bench and get his setup. Raymond does have a setup. He's using his Ampharos Prime and his Typhlosion Prime. He's got a couple of Amphoroses and normal Amphoroses and normal Typhlosions in his deck as well. Unfortunately, Raymond didn't run any Pokemon catchers, which I don't think he will ever not do again. Pokemon catchers happens to be the weakness of Jaco's deck. Jaco uses a Regigigas to build up a wall. There's a double colorless energy, and here comes 20 damage to Cleffa. Like I was saying, Jaco builds up a wall with Regigigas. He uses his Reniclus to swap damage. That's what the Solosis is there for, and Snavy's there for Superior to come out and do his Royal Heal. Royal Heal heals 10 damage from each Pokemon. So Solosis, eventually Reliclus, can swap out all the damage. There's Devotion, and distribute the damage across all the Pokemon on the bench and in front, and can heal all of that Pokemon. That's the main goal for Jaco. He just needs to get set up, and Raymond needs to break it down before it gets set up. Let's see how this game pans out. So Jaco using a Professor Oak's new theory to swap out his hand. No, that was actually a Pokemon Communication. He's doing another Pokemon Communication. This time he's probably going for a Servine. There we go, and he upgrades it. He evolves it straight away this time, not shuffling his hand and losing his Servine again. I don't think he actually even realized that he did that in the first game. Small little things and mistakes that you do when you're nervous. So Jaco, is he going to Eek again? Or yep, he's going to Eek again. I want more cards, so I used some of the cards in my hand, and now the rest of them I don't really want these for the end of for the beginning of my next turn. So let me Eek, get 6 new, and put Cleffa to sleep. Cleffa's asleep now with 20 damage. No Royal Heal, no damage swap out yet. So if Cleffa wakes up, that's another outrage, and goodbye Cleffa. 1 prize for Raymond. So let's roll the dice. Why is he drawing a card? Okay, you didn't draw 6. I was about to say, it's not your turn again. Roll of the dice, and that's a 1. So Cleffa stays asleep and is completely safe because she has a sweet sleeping baby face. So Cyndaquil gets upgraded to a Quilava. Evolved, and a Fire Energy goes on to Quilava. Let's see what happens next. There can't be any outrage. Looks like Raymond doesn't have any cards or trainers that he can play right now. There seems to be a discussion about something. Yes, you can't do anything when it's asleep. Roll another dice to see if it wakes up. Ah, it doesn't, so no eking for Jaco either, but that gives him a lot more time to set up his side. There comes another Verision out to play. Verision helps Jaco draw lots of cards, another Pokemon communication, and he's obviously looking to set up either his Reniclus or his Superior. He goes for the Superior. He wants the heal this time. In the first game he really didn't get the heal out. He got the damage swap, but he didn't really get the heal. The heal is forced. He has no choice. It will heal 10 damage from every Pokemon in between turns. If he forgets, he can actually get warnings for that. He needs to make sure he gets that. Grass energy put on Verision. More energy shoved into... And there's a Professor Oak's new theory. So even though he couldn't eke, he can still Professor Oak's new theory, and he can get 6 brand new cards. Okay, let's see what those 6 cards are. Raymond not too keen on shuffling his opponent's hand. He trusts Jaco. Trust is always a good thing. But and there we go. Reniclus drawn out of that 6 hands. So Jaco's fully set up. He just needs his Regigigas, and then there's going to be pain. Here comes another Snivy. So Jaco does run 2 Royal Heals. So I wonder if he's got it in his deck. And Cleffa wakes up. 2 Royal Heals and a Reniclus spells damage no matter if you have the Regigigas out or not. So Cleffa can't do any damage, so Jaco's not going to win with Cleffa, but there's other things that he can do. Another fire energy given to Pulava over there. Raymond needs... There's another 20 damage, which will get healed and will be gone before he even gets there. So 10 damage on Cleffa. The 10 damage healed on Superior is now completely healed. Another leaf energy on Verision. And Eek. Jaco's still not happy with his hand. He wants to get securely set up for this 3rd game, or he's drawing for time because he knows that if the game ends before Jaco or Raymond has to get to more than half of their prizes. I did read out the rules and I did do the right call and wanted to make sure that everything was done correctly here. But if he gets more than 3 prizes or 3 prizes, then after a certain number of turns, then the 3rd game doesn't count. In case of a 1-1, because Jaco won the 1st game and Raymond only won the 2nd, Jaco would win. So Jaco doesn't look to be stalling or anything on purpose. There goes the heal of 1 damage. Let's see if Cleffa wakes up. Jaco does seem to be playing fast. They do seem to want to get through this game. Jaco's deck is the slowest, so if there's any stalling, and he has the advantage, if there's any stalling, it would be done on his side. Stalling on Raymond's side would only affect him. There's a Typhlosion Prime, right? So it's the first time Jaco's seen it. He just wants to make sure of the words. You should always do that. Read all the words. Make sure you understand exactly what that Pokemon is doing to you or what abilities it can do. Because that's the best way to find out how your deck can find chinks in the armor. There's another Lightning Energy put onto Typhlosion Prime. Typhlosion Prime has 140 hit points. He has a Pokepower called Afterburner. Afterburner says that once during your turn before you attack, you may search your discard pile for a fire energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. If you do so, put 1 damage counter on that Pokemon as well. This power can't be used if Typhlosion is affected by any special condition. But his Flare Destroy does 70 damage and discards the energy attached to Typhlosion. So you discard the fire energy. And he got rid of Cleffa. Jaco's had enough of fixing up his hand and getting a perfect setup. If that was done just a little bit earlier, Jaco wouldn't have got his setup. Let's read Verision. Verision can do a Leaf Wallop, which does 40, and then next turn does 80. And then just keeps on doing 80 every succeeding turn after that. Or a double draw, which can draw 2 cards. There's a Pokemon Communication. Another Cleffa came out. So I think Jaco's going for... Servine here. Oh, no, there's the Regigigas. The Regigigas is out, so that'll start to get some double colorless energies or some leaf energies to build up so that it can do its attacks, and then take the damage from Raymond, split it up as much as he needs, heal some of it, and then apply the pressure to do the attack to Raymond. There's another leaf energy attached to Regigigas, and look at that, a Pokemon catcher in Jaco's deck. Right, maybe he's got 1 or 2 of those. Right, I'd like to catch that Zekrom, and I'm going to do a Leaf Wallop for 40 damage. Zekrom doesn't have any energy on it, so Raymond has to either put a double colorless on to retreat it, or get a switch to switch out to Typhlosion Prime. Typhlosion Prime is a fire, so even that Flare Destroy of 70 will just rip straight through Virizian's health and give him 140 damage, because Virizian is weak to fire. That is the one nasty thing about the grass Pokemon. They seem to have very nice ways of disabling you, holding you, putting different statuses on, but none of them really apply a big kick, and they're very weak to fire. So, not that that makes them any worse under the other colors. Pokemon game is quite balanced. So, Raymond plays down another Mareep. Let's see how far he takes this one. Raymond's got 5 prizes, and Jaco's got 6, because Raymond took out one of those Cleffers with a wonderful Flare Destroy from Typhlosion Prime. Destroyed more than just the energy. Cleffer as well. That's Afterburner, Typhlosion Prime's ability. Jaco's just making sure of it again. So Raymond can take that fire energy from the discard pile, attach it to Typhlosion Prime, Flare Destroy it, and take it off again. So it's quite nice, but every time he does that, he gets 10 damage. It's not for free. So here comes the 10 damage onto Typhlosion Prime. Raymond looking for more energy, looking for more cards. He needs to get out some Ampharos Primes, because that's the way he's going to get through this. If he can start piling on the damage before Regigigas even gets out there, and before he gets his energies. Cherin to draw 3 more cards. Do those 3 cards help? There's another Mareep there. I think there was an energy or a double colorless. That was the energy, and I can't see the first card that he drew. Obviously doesn't like it too much because he hasn't played it, or he can't, so he just passes because that was his one energy attachment, that lightning. Virizian can now do 80 damage with the Leaf Wallop, because Leaf Wallop lets you do 40 the first time and adds 40 damage to the next Leaf Wallop from that Virizian. So if you swap it out to a different Virizian, then the 40 goes away. There's another Leaf Wallop for 80. That puts Zekrom on 120 damage. That's the most he can have. 130 will knock him out. But now his Outrage does a whopping 140 damage. So another lightning energy on there. Here comes the Outrage, and goodbye Virizian. That's the most powerful attack that Raymond can do. But 140 will still not knock out Regigigas at a powerful 180. Yeah, you do get 2 prize cards if you do knock out Regigigas, but that 180 is very, very difficult to obtain with a non-EX card. Professor Oak's New Theory, played by Raymond to draw 6 cards after shuffling his hand into his deck. And Jaco looks and seems quite confident. He's got his setup. He might be 1 prize behind, but that just helps him to play the 2 twins that he's got in his deck. And Raymond does seem to be on the back foot. We need Raymond to push through this. So Raymond, does he have the cards? He's got a Mareep there. Saw something red before he flashed it away. And now it's upside down, so I'll never be able to tell what it is till he plays it. Right, he does the Outrage for 140, knocks out Virizian and those 2 Leaf energies. Jaco reminding him to pack away his supporters. Another Leaf energy goes on to Regigigas. No damage on his side, so he doesn't have to worry about the Royal Heal. And Eek, because Jaco wants 6 more cards. The way Jaco seems to be eking in Professor Oak's New Theory, his deck might be getting a bit thin there. Sometimes that's a good thing. You want to thin it out, take out the Pokemon and the cards that you really don't want. But you can also start to run out of cards. There's a draw of 5. You need another card there. There we go. And there's a Grass Energy. So let's see if Cleffer wakes up. And Cleffer does not wake up. That's a 1. That's Tails. Sitting on the Zekrom. So if that counts as damage, then Zekrom's knocked out. But we know that that isn't. There's another Cherin. Draw 3 cards. So Raymond seems to be getting the energy he needs, but I think he's looking for some rare candies to make those Mareeps into all that they can be, those Ampharos Primes, and start doing damage to Jaco. With Eek asleep, not even Zekrom's outrage of 140 can damage it, because it's got such a cute sleeping face. Fire energy placed on Reshiram, and looks like Raymond just passes. Let's roll the dice. Clever does not wake up, which means Jaco can't retreat it. Jaco actually has Clever in a paralyzed position. Now that I look at it, it needs to be pointing the other way. Towards the left is sleeping, towards the right is paralyzed. Sure, it's just an honest mistake, you don't really notice that. But it's a common mistake done by ex-Magic players, because that was the way that we tapped our lands so that we could cast spells. So, does Clever wake up? Nope. Clever stays in the paralyzed but she's asleep position. Another cheering goes down. Let's draw 3 more cards. Just more energy for Raymond. He doesn't seem to be having luck with the draws. He has got 2 prizes ahead of Jaco, but the draws are just not working. And Jaco's setup actually cancels out the fact that he's got 2 prizes on top of him. Because the minute that Regigigas comes out, then there's nothing that Raymond has that can actually give it a 1-hit KO, and that's a problem. Be good. And I think I've said this far too many times during these videos. It would be excellent if Raymond actually had a Pokemon catcher, because then he could start catching some of those Pokemon, those green Pokemon, and burning them. Now, it must have been a heads. The camera didn't catch that, because the Eker Cleffer, he has woken up. Let's see what happens. There is a Lilligant. Excellent. Jaco's ultimate staller. Lilligant was the only thing, and Petalil was keeping Jaco alive for the 8 minutes that was the game 2. But Raymond eventually brought out his Pokemon with Jaco drawing nothing and nothing and nothing, and knocked out Lilligant. So there's a retreat, free retreat, because it's awake and there's no retreat costs on Cleffer. So here comes the Regigigas with the Rocky Helmet and double colorless, so he can do Raging Hammer right now. Raging Hammer for 50 or Giga Hammer, doesn't really matter. He needed to do 10 more damage, and there goes Zekrom knocked out. See how catchers can actually help quite nicely in these types of situations. Not just there to annoy your opponent, but also to help you get either quick and easy wins, or wins that quick and easy prizes, or prizes that you can't really get from doing a frontal assault like with this Regigigas. So there's a Flare Destroy for 70. That puts 70 on Regigigas. And the Flare Destroy also removes an energy off the defending Pokemon. So that means that Regigigas loses that double colorless. So minus 10 because of Royal Heal. So Regigigas has 60 on it. Let's try keep count this time, not like the first game, and actually make sure what's happening. So there was a damage swap, and it's moved the 60 energy over to the Royal Healer, so that she might heal it closer to her heart. So there was another energy on Regigigas. So he's going to do Giga Hammer. It looks like he puts 20 damage on himself, because he wants to do 80 damage to Typhlosion Prime. 20 damage on Regigigas would disappear before it comes back to Jaco's turn. Heal 10, heal 10. So that Superior should have 4 now, and Regigigas has 1 damage token on it. And that Typhlosion Prime should have a whopping 80 damage. Typhlosion Prime discards 2 energies to retreat. There comes Reshiram. There's only 1 damage counter on Regigigas, so even a blue flare would do 120, leaving Regigigas on 130 damage, but he still has 50 health, doing him quite well. So now you see 130 with 1 damage removed, then you see 120. And Superior doing a very good job at Royal Heal. If Jaco gets another Superior out, that'll be 20 damage healed per turn, which is almost unbreakable. So Jaco's sitting on 5 prizes, and Raymond's sitting on 4. Okay, here comes some more damage swapping. So Jaco's taking some of the damage and putting it on Reniclus himself. I think he's left all but 1 damage token onto his Regigigas. He does not want to lose that Regigigas. He actually doesn't have any bench space to put down a second one in case that one goes, so that he can start building up the energy. Not that he has one in his hand either, now that I see that his hand's full of energy. Here comes another energy onto Regigigas. And he's going to do, I think he's going to do some small damage. Because he can't do too much in case Raymond brings up that Typhlosion and knocks out his Regigigas. Typhlosion has no energy, but obviously can do Afterburner. There goes up a Mareep, I think just to delay Jaco in his killing spree with Regigigas. Jaco forgot to do his heal, but he does it now. So everything's healing 1. So there must have been 2 damage counters on Regigigas, because it's still got a damage counter and it healed 1 there. That's an Ampharos Prime, that's an Ampharos non-prime with 120 damage, health points, not damage on it. And Jaco will need to apply 70 damage onto Regigigas to knock out Ampharos. But does he have 70 energy? This is the other catch-22 of healing every single turn and being forced to heal it. You actually don't, you don't have a choice. You have to heal that damage and the damage just goes away. So things like Raging Hammer can't be powered up forever. A little bit of a positive and negative there. So Ampharos has got a lightning energy. Jaco's making sure that he can see what's got energy and what doesn't. Mareep gets the afterburner energy and gets 10 damage. I think Jaco's thinking that Ampharos is not going to stay there very long, but he wants to do an acceleration bolt which does 30 damage. Search for 2 basic energies out of his deck. There's a fire and there's another fire because he wants that to be placed onto his Pokemon. Raymond's deck actually looking a bit thin there compared to Jaco's. I wonder why that is. He did do a lot of Cherins, but that's not too much. There's the 20 damage for the Rocky Helmet. And Jaco put his 30 damage on there, and then he has to heal 10 for everything. Ampharos might see his last days here. I think Jaco has just enough to knock it out. Well, we'll just have to see. That healing has been going on for quite a long time, so all that damage that he might have received could be going. I think I called time here because they do run out of time towards the end, and then what the procedure there is at the end is that they have 3 turns, and then Raymond has to get to, at this particular point, to 3 prizes and then go on to 2. The turns will continue if they stay on 3 prizes until the first person knocks out a prize. There's a rare candy for an Ampharos Prime and Typhlosion Prime. So Typhlosion Prime can do a Flare Destroy, which is 70 damage, which probably won't knock out Regigigas. So let's see what Raymond does in this particular stage. We called time on Jaco's turn, so Jaco would be turn 0, Raymond would be turn 1, then Jaco gets turn 2, and Raymond gets turn 3. At the end of Raymond's turn, we'll take a look at the prizes. If they're equal, they carry on playing. If they're not, because Jaco's on 3 prizes, then and Raymond's on 4, Jaco will win this 3rd game. But let's see if Raymond can pull out something. There's the Flare Destroy for 70. It's almost already guaranteed in Jaco's hands because there is no... Why is he discarding energy? Oh, he's discarding energy for Flare Destroy. And Raymond is just taking his Typhlosion Prime and putting it in the discard pile. Because of the Rocky Helmet knocking it out. Rocky Helmet can be a bit of a pain. Every time you attack, you lose 1. Jaco's doing his heal, removing 1 damage token from all of his Pokemon. Sorting out his energy and laying it out straight. This is turn 2 on Jaco's side. And Jaco seems to be thinking. I think the pressure of time has been taken off here. So Jaco can take his time in thinking how he's going to do this. He's taken that 1 prize because Typhlosion Prime knocked himself out. So this really doesn't look good for Raymond. With 2 prizes, Jaco's just got to make sure that he can't lose 2 prizes. But with that EX out there, oh, he didn't even draw. With that EX out there, he could lose a quick 2 prizes. So I think Jaco just needs to make sure that that doesn't happen. There's his 2nd Superior. So that's 20 damage healed per turn, with Reniclus moving as much damage as he wants. Jaco can distribute the damage as he sees fit. He can put 2 on every single Pokemon and then just heal. So, okay. So, Raymond's saying there's no way I can get 3 prizes. You knocked out my Mareep. Well done. Jaco carries on into the next round. 2 games up to 1.